talk to Richard Tice. He's a businessman himself. He's also chairman of the Brexit Party. Good morning to you, Richard.
Good morning to you,
Good
Julia.
morning. Let's just go through some of these ideas that have been floated. There's obviously a £300 billion deficit that needs to be paid off. £30 billion taxes could be raised in the next year if fuel duty goes up. Pensions tax relief is cut for higher earners, currently up to 40% now, taking it down there. Foreign aid being cut, so not automatically required by law to be 0.7% of GDP. Corporation tax, crucially, up from 19% even to 24%, we're told, raising £12 billion. And capital gains tax at the same rate as income tax. And as I say, also suspending the pensions triple lock for 2 years as well. Lots of different measures. Now, some of those would affect ordinary people on ordinary incomes, like the pensions triple lock. Some of those affecting second homeowners and the like, but some of them affecting some of the wealthiest people in the country. A lot of people listening to this right now would say, do you know what? Someone's got to pay for all this pandemic bailing out. It may as well be the rich.
Well, you mentioned, Julia, the word kite flying. Let's hope this is a kite that actually flies away, because the idea of raising taxes as we try and come out of this terrible pandemic and the economic crisis is literally the worst of all worlds. What we need to do actually is look to cut and reform taxes so that we accelerate and grow our way out of this crisis. And the truth is, and history always shows this, if you raise taxes, you will actually cramp and hinder and reduce and stifle growth rather than enhance it. And the other truth is, we need to attract international investors, international businesses to come and invest in the UK. After the crisis, the pandemic, people are worried about how the UK has responded to it. We need to make this country a more attractive place, not a less attractive place. And if you raise taxes on some of the wealth creators, the entrepreneurs, the business owners, the successful people, then guess what? Don't be surprised if all of a sudden, in a much more mobile world, lots of them suddenly say, well, I can go and invest and be successful and employ people in other countries where taxes are lower and I'm a bit more welcome.
I absolutely accept the idea that, especially in post-Brexit, we need to be taking the benefits of not being in the EU and becoming a lower tax economy. We have an incredibly high tax sort of take in this country without actually the corresponding public services that perhaps we might expect for that. But even if corporation tax, for instance, was raised, I mean, it's 19% at the moment. It's very, very low by international standards. 24% would be a massive hike, a 5 percentage point increase. But realistically, that would still be below the rate of corporation tax in many competitive nations like France, like Germany, like Spain, in which case a lot of people would say, why not?
Because that's not the right way to look at it. The right way to look at it is to say that many thousands of businesses are struggling to stay afloat, let alone make a profit. And if you're going to say to them, folks, well done, you've made a bit of a profit, and now I'm going to tax you even more, people are going to say, what's the point? It will have the absolute opposite effect. The simple truth that history always shows, if you raise taxes, then actually you will reduce growth. And as corporation tax was reduced over the last decade, actually government tax receipts from corporation tax soared. And it's not just because of the growth in the economy, it's because businesses were able to reinvest the savings and grow faster. And that compound growth is what actually led to higher growth in the economy, more jobs over the last 5 or 6 years. And we need to learn from that lesson. So I think we should be looking to cut taxes, reform taxes. Just one small example, if we halved the foreign aid budget, Julia, and made that law for the next 40 years, you would pay all of the 250, 300 billion pound cost of this pandemic. So let's reform taxes, but let's cut them and let's make the UK a really welcoming place for investors and for entrepreneurs to do business. That's the way to accelerate our growth.
Okay, now I'm not a fan of the politics of envy and this idea that people, if people are billionaires, they must have exploited someone. Normally, they're billionaires because they've come up with a darn good idea. They're good business people, and they're selling us something we want to buy. I mean, what's not to like about that? If it's too high a price, they're making too much profit, then we wouldn't be buying it, would we? And you take iPhones as a classic example. But there will be people who will say, well, but these people have got enough money, and we know that a lot of the very rich, the corporation tax on someone who's just running a company, that they're a plumbing company, they're one man, electrician, or a one woman hairdresser, whatever it is they do. Those people would be hit by that. But what about the very big companies, which actually do use lots of cunning loopholes and lots of cunning ways of hiding their profits, and they don't actually pay the same sort of taxes as everyone else, as the ordinary companies, the Starbucks, the ones who do all these cunning ways of headquarters here, headquarters there. There'll be a lot of people listening to this saying, look, they don't want ordinary business people who are doing their best and creating jobs. They don't want those people to be hit by taxes, but they do want the really big multi-billion-pound international corporations who, frankly, are getting away with murder and negotiate their tax rates with the taxman in a way that you and I, well, maybe you can, I don't know, but I certainly can't do, my listeners can't. There is an argument for those people to be paying what I think most people do consider to be their fair share of tax.
Yes, indeed. And that's why I referred earlier to tax reform. There are huge anomalies across the system. I, for example, have been campaigning that we should slash business rates on all high street shops across the country and replace that with an online sales tax, which would make it much harder for some of the multinational corporations to avoid tax, to hide it in really low tax jurisdictions. So that would be one route. Having an online sales tax again would level up the playing field and make it easier for small independents, looking to help reinvigorate high streets and communities and towns and villages up and down the country. There's lots of tax reforms we can do that would be smart and would be sensible, that would increase the tax revenues, but would not slow and hinder and cramp the growth that we need in order to get ourselves out of this crisis.
Where are you on this issue about getting people back into their workplaces? The government was supposed to be having a big back to work campaign this week. Thought that's now been put off for another week. People are waiting often for school children to get back into the classroom. So next Monday, perhaps being a point when many firms will say time to get back to work. But we know millions and millions of people are being told it's fine. You can work from home. We are told, our city centres, City of London. I can see the City of London from my office right now, looking out the studio window, and it's a ghost town, and not just because it's a bank holiday, it'll be a ghost town tomorrow as well. How concerned are you about people not going back to the workplace?
I'm desperately concerned. I've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've been attacked for it by all sorts of people, but I think the reality is, to some degree, the horse has bolted, and people can be productive for part of the week working from home, and I get that. But actually, there's a difference between being productive for 1 or 2 days a week and being incredibly creative and brainstorming with other people around a table, coming up with ideas, mad ideas, good ideas, finding the right solution. And, we've also got a particular duty, Julia, to our young people. My 23-year-old son, he got a new job early in lockdown. He's been stuck at home, working from home for 4 months. He's never met his boss or any of his work colleagues. How can he learn? How can he sort of receive their wisdom, their experience, their sales techniques if he's sitting at home all the time? It's not good for people. The human race, we're social people. So I want to try and encourage, let's get a win-win situation where we get people back into the office 3-4 days a week, something like that. Individuals and companies will have to work it out themselves. But we've got to encourage it, and we've got a duty to our young people to help them by educating them and enthusing them in the workplace.
Okay, and just finally, these polls showing Labour and the Tories neck and neck on 40%. You're the chairman of the Brexit Party. You played a crucial role in helping to get Boris Johnson into power. I know you guys were running against the Tories and have a lot of battles with the Tories over the years, but of course, you kind of pushed their policy on Brexit an awful lot. What do you make of why Keir Starmer has been able to recapture so many of those voters?
I'm not surprised at all, because I think that Keir Starmer's had a very good start as leader of the Labour Party. He sounded informed, knowledgeable, detailed, and he's focused on one word: competence, or in the government's case, incompetence. And time and time and time again, over so many different issues, this government has shown itself to be incompetent. Decisions that lack common sense, that surprise, they then make a U-turn on days or weeks later, stuff they should have worked out but didn't. It beggars belief, so it doesn't surprise me at all that a Labour Party rejuvenated under strong leadership from Keir Starmer is making progress in the polls. And I think the Tories need to be very, very careful. Otherwise, they'll soon find themselves 3, 4, 5 points behind.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Richard Tice, chair of the Brexit Party and a businessman.